Hello and welcome to Vlog the Second. First of all, I want to say a big thank you for everyone who shared or liked or commented on my last one. Actually, in fact, Lenny and I want to say a big thank you. So say thank you, Lenny. In fact, most of the comments I had were actually that they would like more Lenny in the vlog. So is that enough? Because he's a bit of a wriggler. Say thank you. Thank you. So my next vlog is going to be a brief history of Huntington's disease. This is George Huntington. I know what you're thinking, a bit of a hipster. Nice moustache, mate. He was an American physician, or a doctor. George was born into a long line of physicians who all worked in the same practice. And in 1872, George released a scientific paper called On Chorea, which precisely reported observations of one family in East Hampton in the Long Island area who were thought to have an inherited disorder. Thanks to the doctor's report from his dad, also called George, and his granddad, called Abel, nice name, mate, his paper was incredibly detailed. So our George was able to use reports that his granddad had written on the granddad from the affected family. I mean, how lucky is that? And on top of all this, George was only 22. Get in, George, you clever... The name chorea was given to the disease, in his own words, on account of the dancing propensities of those who are affected by it. Now, I've seen my dad and his involuntary movements, and it is kind of like dancing. I mean, he's no Kate Bush, but chorea is the Greek word for dance. That's where we get some of our dance-related words from, like choreographer and choreography and choreographic. Nowadays, it's more widely known as Huntington's disease rather than Huntington's chorea, which I feel encompasses more of the mental and physical idiosyncrasies that the disease has rather than just one physical involuntary movement one. But it wasn't until 1983, that's over 100 years later, that the actual gene was found, or the scientific term is mapped. And it was mapped in chromosome 4. Chromosome 4, what a place. And it wasn't for another decade later that the gene, the one that lives in chromosome 4, was, here's another technical term, isolated, which basically means they could look at it on its own and find out what the error is, what the defect in the defective gene is. Basically, find out what was wrong with it. I mean, it's 1993. 1993, that's not that long ago. I mean, I can remember 1993. That's the year of the Vauxhall Corsa, the year of the Ford Mondeo, the year that England did not qualify for the World Cup in America. But on a more positive note, since the gene being isolated in 1993, research for Huntington's disease has really taken off. There are some really clever people out there doing some really clever things, like our mate Mr. George Huntington did back in 1872. So just to clarify, it was recognised in 1872, it was mapped in 1983, and it was isolated in 1993. So there is my brief history of Huntington's disease.